And yes. Surprise, surprise. Box football's here. Jack, could you get the little thing going? You know, remember you had the little thing going at the bottom, the
hmm
little headline thing going.
Yeah,
So
let's get the banners going.
we need to get that going now. Jack, is there anything that happened this week? Would you know? Would you know anything big that just happened in the past few, hours or minutes or so? I don't know what's happening in the
Uh,
world of football right now. You tell me. I don't.
I'm not so sure, to be honest. Obviously, it's been a bit of a quiet one today. Nothing
Yeah, it's
major's
been a
really
bit quiet.
happened, you know.
And there's
Yeah, I
loads
mean,
of chat. This is this
ob-
this album. This is going to be
ob-
entertaining.
obviously we're going to get to the big one, but I think the
It,
thing is, James, like, I know that everybody's just going to want us to talk about one game, but we have to be honest here. There were a few big games today, quite a few,
listen,
with
there was
major
like
things that happened.
uh, I think the headline of the whole thing is oh yeah, the Man United, and that's the headline. But this is a whole Premier League show, so we're going to go through as many big Premier League games as possible. But there's the main one that we're going to get to, and then we're going to talk um about it right now. What's his name? Sevilla versus Levante. What's the score in that? At the back here, I have PSG versus Marseille. Oh my! Really? I should have. Damn! I should have put that in my.
5-3. Damn, yeah, maybe we should have put that on.
I should have put that. Listen, both teams to score. Um, no draw. Both teams to score. That would have worked perfect for me.
mm,
Um, but but yeah, Jack. Let's get into it, and
yeah,
let's kind of start with the first main fixture of the week. Well,
right.
actually, the first main fixture of the week was on Friday, and let's talk about my team, Arsenal first. And guys, we're just gonna ramble on and kind of go through each game as it is. If you have been here, before, you know how the format is. If you haven't, guys, just give your opinion on each game. We're going to get through as many as possible in this in that time. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. I'm going to keep on saying that. But Jack, after 3-1 Aston Villa, after a poor display against Crystal Palace, Arsenal finally back to winning ways after two draws. How did you feel about it?
Um, yeah, I think it's what you want if you're an Arsenal fan. I'm like James. I'm sure you can speak to this a little bit more, but yeah, I'm sure you were probably a little bit worried going into that game with Villa. You know, there's some guys there who can hurt Arsenal in a big way, and we know that Arsenal are one bad result away from the Arteta out brigade, and Kroenke out, and all this kind of stuff, and it being a real dampener on the week for kind of the entire fan base. But I think this is the kind of result that makes you have that optimism, and certainly the optimism that I have had historically. I'm not going to tell you that I'm now back to where I was in terms of my optimism going forward for Arsenal and its fan base. It's going to take a lot more than beating Aston Villa, but still, I thought there were positives from the game, and it's those kinds of things that you want to keep going forward week after week after week after week, to hopefully get into a spin of things. Do you
We go.
think with Grealish it would affect Arsenal's win? What does he
I'm
mean by
guessing not,
that?
not. I'm guessing if Aston Villa had Grealish, would that affect? No, no. I
I
I,
don't think
I don't
so.
think so. Like,
No.
I really don't think Grealish is a good player in that, but like Aston Villa to me needed to move on, and like for them to be even better.
Yeah,
Like,
James. I think for everybody listening, James and I don't dislike Jack Grealish. We don't. We just don't think he's as good as I think everybody mentions that he's good about. We definitely don't think he's worth £100 million, and all this kind of stuff going on. We don't dislike the player. I think he has got talent, and I think he'll just get better and better under Pep and under City. With City and the players he's going to be playing with. But I don't think that you put Aston Villa into that. Sorry, if you put Jack Grealish into that Aston Villa team, that suddenly Villa are winning 4-3 and Jack Grealish is getting a hat trick. It wouldn't. I don't think it would work that way.
thoughts on the Arsenal game? First of all, I didn't actually watch the game. I watched bits of it. I was actually playing football instead of actually watching them, because the fact that it's on a Friday, it's just actually so annoying
It's
having
weird, isn't
like
it?
a game on a Friday. But Arsenal done well. Yeah, finally back to winning ways. It was good to see. I look at someone like Emil Smith Rowe, and week in and week out, he just gets stronger and stronger and better and better. Martin Odegaard is someone who came in my beliefs. I thought that he was gonna overtake Emil Smith Rowe, but looks like he's playing second fiddle to Smith Rowe because Smith Rowe is that important. And the fact that he
Hmm.
can do so many things for Arsenal is play out wide, play in the hole, and sometimes even play as an 8. His versatility is something that I love to see, and he's getting better. Again, seeing Thomas Partey get onto the score sheet was huge. Another goal for Aubameyang was nice, but I tell you what was also nice to see Arsenal go back to like a 4-4-2 and go back to playing two strikers. It doesn't always have to be, three what's called again, one striker or even no striker. Sometimes we have strikers, you might as well use them, and like we have some decent strikers in Aubameyang and Lacazette, and it was actually good to see them play together. But overall, finally have a win against a good side. I'm really happy with that. Bit disappointed with that Crystal Palace game because, in my opinion, we should be over Man United right now. But we need
Right.
to find a consistent level for me. To me, it can't be okay. We beat Aston Villa right now, and then the next game we drop points. We need to find that consistency where we have no Europe right now. Can we get 5-6 games on a roll winning streak? That's what I'm looking for this team. But overall, great.
Yeah, man,
Next,
but I think just quickly, I think you're absolutely spot on with that. I really do. I think that if you are having your best game of the season, then a worst game of the season, then best game of the season, then what? Like that's not what you want if you're an Arsenal fan. Even if it's draws and the odd loss, but it's you're seeing the same things, the same building blocks week after week. I think that's what the fan base are really craving for. That's what they're going for right now. But yeah, sorry.
Anders, did you see Messi's header? I think it just went over the crossbar. He should have scored, but for Messi to outjump some 6-foot defenders is actually a bit mad. But again, Jack, let's move over and let's talk about the early kickoff yesterday and Chelsea and their title charge. For some reason, Lukaku was out injured. Timo Werner, I'm guessing, must have had a niggle, so Chelsea were missing both strikers, but no worries. They ended up scoring 7 goals against Norwich. Now, I'll get to Norwich in a minute, but Jack, what did you think of the whole game?
Yeah, just great performance from a team who definitely looked like a massive threat for the title this year. And again, yes, okay, there's some negativity around Lukaku at the moment, not scoring this and that. That's fine, but again, this is just another, spoke on the wheel, a strong spoke on the wheel that's going to be part of the team. And again, James, you and I have talked about this before. Romelu Lukaku does not have to score a goal or get an assist to have a great game. He doesn't. Now, obviously, missed out, and maybe I think people thought maybe a little differently from that game. But yeah, Ender's just made the point there. Mount was great. Mount played really, really well. Defense is playing really well. Ben Chilwell looks like kind of a ridiculous offensive threat right now too. Kovacic played great. It was kind of the perfect storm. I think Norwich, I think Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, they really are a different animal. And I think Norwich probably went there and just thought to themselves, like, God, we don't have a hope in hell. And then the early goal comes in, what was it, 8 minutes, I think, something like that, for the first Mount goal. And I think from then on the floodgates open and Norwich just think to themselves, on to the next game week, and fair enough, because Chelsea have that aura about them right now.
I look at it a little bit different. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
Chelsea were brilliant. Don't take that away from them at all. Fair play to them. Scoring 7 in the Premier League is no mean feat, and for them to do it in front of their fans, lovely. Mason Mount getting a hat trick, brilliant. He was exceptional. The first goal, and I think in almost like 30 games, or so. Callum Hudson-Odoi getting back into the team, getting goals. That's all great for Chelsea. But if I was a Chelsea fan, I would be like, nice, but don't take anything really from it. Do you know why? Because the game felt to me like Chelsea were playing a third-round FA Cup game against a championship team. That's generally what I felt. This Norwich team, generally, they're looking at Derby County and they're competing with them to see who's the worst Premier League team of all time.
Right. Feels like it.
They are on course to get 8 points. I'm not sure. I think Derby got 11 points or so. I think they only won like one game in that time. And if generally Norwich can win a game, that will be some accomplishment, because generally none of these, probably like 1 or 2 are like Premier League standard. Right. They have no clue what they're doing right now. And Chelsea, as a good team that they are, they punished them. To me, this was an FA Cup game to Chelsea. Players were able to feel their boots, bring a bit of confidence up. I think the one that kind of worried me a little was Kai Havertz. I kind of want to see him in this
It-
game get a few
Right.
goals and kind of build something for Chelsea. But again, the fact that Mason Mount is scoring for Chelsea and playing back to his best, and how important he was for them last season, that's a massive plus for them in my eyes.
Yeah. Oh, James, absolutely. And I think you're right. When there is that kind of party atmosphere, you score 7 goals. That is not a normal. That's not a normal football match. And as much as I agree with you, I think that there is a certain level of like, it was kind of like an FA Cup game. It was a Premier League game. It was game week 9 in the Premier League. I know it felt like the way you're saying, but still to get what you got there is very, very impressive. And Havertz, probably should have got in on the act a little bit more, build his confidence, because I think we know what he's capable of. But I think that not having seen it consistently is still something to worry. Ender, who's the dark horse in the Prem? Is there even one? I personally stand by what I've said from the beginning, and I haven't really seen anything that's changed my mind yet. It's those 4 bigger teams, and we'll get on to one of those teams who seem to have fallen away quite a lot. But the other 3 in particular, I do just think are a cut above the rest, and I don't see really anybody kind of catching them.
But I don't know what you mean by dark horse to win it, because I don't think there's only 3 teams able to win it. Maybe 4 if one team can get themselves sorted out. But dark horse everyone needs to look out for is West Ham, because week in and week out with Champions League football, they still seem to find a way to summon up the strength to win these games. And like we've just done speaking about Chelsea, let's talk about West Ham and Tottenham. And I know there isn't enough Tottenham fans right now, but Tottenham dropping points again, losing 1-0 to West Ham. I think this is Tottenham's 3rd loss in the London derby this year, or 4th. Fourth. Just Crystal Palace, Arsenal, Chelsea, and West Ham. So all 4 lost at this moment of time. But where are you standing with West Ham, Jack? Because at this moment, they feel to me like irresistible. It's almost
I think irresistible is a little strong. I know what you mean, but irresistible to me would be a little bit strong. I think Mikel Antonio, while I was very impressed with his finish, it was kind of a shot in the dark. It felt like today. The ball came down. Yes, Antonio is a bully in the nicest possible way. But like the ball came over, he didn't see it. It was just natural instinct and reaction. I think there is a somewhat small element of luck on his part there. But were they that much better than Spurs on the day? I'm not so sure. But again, James, why I think I am higher on them, or I'm as high as everybody else is on them. It's a team with an identity. It's a team who they all buy into what they're doing. It's a team where they work for one another. The recruitment we've talked. It's the main thing I talk about with West Ham. The recruitment is always terrific. Always, over the last 18 months, 2 years, the recruitment has been absolutely spot on. Kurt Zouma has had multiple man of the match level type performances. I know it's becoming kind of a little bit of a joke at this point because he's not really done it justice with his performances. But I really rate Jared Bowen. I think Jared Bowen's great, and we're seeing
even one that to me, I get it. To some people, he's a little bit overrated, but he's a player, and that's Declan Rice. Like the level to me in him has gone up.
But still, I think David Moyes' comments today about the bargain of £100 million for Declan Rice being gone is like, come on, Dave. But anyway,
he's going there. He's like a £30 million player, but but think about it, he's a good player.
Yeah, he's English and he's 22, so therefore he's 120 mil. Yeah, we get it. But no, Jay, I mean, like if we're being honest here as well. Antonio, again, second to Mo Salah, I think, in goal contributions now this year. That's unbelievably impressive. And we're not comparing him to Salah from a standpoint of like similar styles and all this kind of stuff. Mo Salah is in a different conversation at this point in terms of, and that conversation that the mainstream media are having our best player in the world type conversations. But for Antonio to even be in somewhat touching distance in terms of goal contributions for a team like West Ham is very, very impressive.
The maddest thing for me with Antonio is the development that we've seen from this guy. How could you go from a fullback to a wing back to a winger and now to this top level striker in the Premier
with
League.
his
Like,
build too.
you know,
Yeah,
think about
right.
it, and it's not like he's like, oh, an average Premier League striker. Jack, he's one of the best in the Premier League right
Right.
now.
Yeah.
You know what, like for what he does overall, and I think you look at most teams in the Premier League, they would have Antonio in their team, and it just tells you, like, for me, fair play to West Ham, but also David Moyes, because a lot of these guys have kind of been almost, it's weird, rejects in a way. David Moyes, what went from, being great at Everton, being lauded, and having the time at Man United that wasn't great, and Racine was all right, but he lost his stock completely. And now he's built it
Right.
up to this high point anymore. Antonio, let's be honest, like, wasn't really going anywhere in his career. Now we're considering him like one of the best, and it's, to me, it's the majority of this West Ham team, like right now at this moment of time. And fair play to them, because I remember even the fans complaining about being in the London Stadium. Everyone's blowing bubbles right now, and like, they seem to be no problem there. So it's good on their part.
Just to touch very quickly on the other side of the ball, yeah, Spurs. I don't know what's going on. To me, it's a culmination of multiple issues. Kane again. It's not pretty. I don't know who's watching Harry Kane play football right now and considering him a top 10 striker in the world at the moment. That's his play. Now we know the whole class, form is temporary, class is permanent thing. And yeah, I expect Harry Kane over the next however many years to rediscover the kind of ridiculous, irresistible form that he's had in the past. But right now, it's not pretty. And the only optimism is when Son picks up the ball and runs with it. Because again, there's quite a few players in there. Christian Romero, I think, looked good today, puffed his chest out, put a bit of fight into the game. But James, it was a relatively drab game. And to be where they were and lose the way they did, Spurs, it just, I don't know. The intensity is not there. The desire to win is not there.
Jack, I just think that it's just going to be this weird season for the Tottenham. I said it in a video that I think Tottenham fans should be excited. But now, like, when I look at it, I'm not sure if they can be excited because they're not happy with who they have in charge. Because I just feel like after every bad result now, I'm seeing Nuno out, and like Nuno out today. Yeah, I'm an Arsenal fan, but unfortunately, I follow some Tottenham accounts, and as soon as this game, as soon as they went a goal down, you could just feel the disdain towards Nuno, and they weren't sure their style of play and like where they are right now. And a lot of teams are getting this like toxic feeling in their club right now.
Yeah.
And Tottenham are getting that too, because it just feels as soon as a bad result happens, it's just going to be Nuno out.
Well,
it's going to be boring.
And James, it's going to be much worse when Paulo Fonseca and Newcastle United beat Spurs at some point over the next however many months. No, I'm only joking, but still, like, yeah, what is there to be excited about here? And if you're a player wanting to go to the club or you're trying to retain a player, what's the motivation to stay at this point? Seriously, I think there are pieces that you can build around and things that I do like, but generally speaking, you're definitely on the downhill on that one.
Sammy, at least top 8 for Tottenham. Also, Sammy, Real Madrid winning 2-1 today in the Clasico, quite routine. Barcelona lacked that bit of bite, but tell me, how you feeling about another Clasico win? I think you're unbeaten in the last 6 or so. Just let me know. And let's move over and let's talk about the champions, Manchester City, and their 4-1 win against Brighton. Man City with no clear-cut striker. Again, Phil Foden playing up front, but no problem. The English core with Foden and Jack Grealish coming to light against Brighton. Jack, how did you feel about the game?
Yeah, again, it's a well-coached football team with an identity, a style, high technical ability, high tactical knowledge of the game as well. And, all you need at any one point is a couple of players to play above their usual station, and you're going to win nearly every single game. I thought Bernardo Silva was just being unbelievable at points. Foden, Foden, to be fair,
Jack, he's hard. Foden
dude,
is hard.
He is. It took me longer than I think most people that's taken, but I'm on board now. I see it and I believe it, and I'm here for it. It's not that I never had faith in him, but I'm always, your ears are probably going to start bleeding here, but that environment. environment, if you play with those 10 other players and your manager is Pep Guardiola and you have the training and you do all this kind of stuff, I feel like more often than not, even if you're half talented, you can look good out there. That's what good coaching and a good tactical system and culture in a football team has. But we've seen from Foden, especially over the beginning of this season, like there's a little bit more there. And, Foden is going to be that type of player, a goal contribution a game on average, or 0.9 goal contributions a game come the end of the season. Yeah, I bet. I wouldn't put that past him.
Now, I've never doubted that Phil Foden was a good player. Now, my only problem with the Phil Foden thing was that the media made it up like we've never seen a football player like this in my life, and that was the problem I have. I've seen plenty of better young players than Phil Foden, but from what I see for him right now, he's generally one of the best young players in the world. And the way he's developing, the way he's getting better and better, and like, to me, the best thing about Phil Foden is that I don't think he's unlocked even half of his potential yet. Because to me, I don't think he even knows his best position yet.
Right.
And that's
right.
In like that, to me, that's a cool thing, because under Pep Guardiola, he can make you anything he wants to be, like anything he wants you to be. So if Phil Foden is going to be a number 8, like a Kevin De Bruyne, going box to box and dominating the game, he can do that. If he wants him to sit, he can do that. If he wants him to play out wide and beat players, get your get your boots nice and chalky, whatever.
Yeah,
he can do that. And if he wants to be a false 9, as he did against Brighton, he can do that. And that to me is so cool. And one thing I also realize about footballers nowadays is that you have to be so versatile. You have to be able to play multiple positions now. Before, it was just, I'm a winger. I'm a striker. Now it's like, you're a midfielder. Can you play a false 9? Can you sometimes play out wide? Like, you see even Paul Pogba, who's playing out wide for Manchester United at times. You have to have that bit of variety about it, and Foden just has that in abundance right now, and we see the quality that he has overall, Jack.
Yeah, no, absolutely, mate. You're absolutely spot on. And in terms of the game, there's this whole kind of meme at the moment with Brighton and the whole XG philosophy and all this kind of stuff, right? So, nice to see them get a goal, no matter how silly and insignificant it ended up being. But routine win for City, the better team won.
Jack, Enders just asked a brilliant question right now. Who's the best young player in the world?
Well,
now, again, let's leave Mbappe out of it.
Yeah, again, I think we obviously the problem with a lot of these conversations is we need to define our terms and what that means. So, youngster, what's the age cap? Those are the kind of questions I would ask. But
okay, let's go 23.
My immediate.
You know what? That is a great shout. Right?
Yeah, it is a good shout.
Go on, Jack.
I'm gonna say Haaland. I'm gonna say Haaland. The guy's an absolute freak show. Can hit you from absolutely anywhere and everywhere. And the way he's playing this season so far as well. That you said, let's not include Mbappe. I'm taking Erling Haaland as of today. Over Kylian Mbappe. I am. That's how confident and good I feel about Haaland and what he's capable of. I think he can play in any league, in any team style. I think he's a freak show, and he will be for the next 10 years.
I hope Sammy's watching this right now, and Sammy's listening to me clearly. But I'm going to say Vinicius Jr. to me has the potential to win a Ballon d'Or. That's how good I believe this kid is. Jack, watch him today in the Classico.
If Vinicius
Jack, his end product.
But if Vinicius Jr. wins a Ballon d'Or and Neymar doesn't, that is a crazy failure on Neymar's part.
But Jack, you must understand that Neymar was playing in an era with the 2 greatest football players we've ever seen.
That's true. That's true.
Like listen, Modric won a freaking Ballon d'Or. I don't think he's better than Xavi or Iniesta, but I think he's still a world-class football player and one of the greatest of this generation. But let's talk about the elephant in the room right now.
Do we have any Man United fans in chat? Do we have any Man United fans in chat? That's if you are, don't feel sad. Just come announce yourself. It's okay.
Guys, if you know any Man United fans right now, please refer them to here right now, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about the main thing that happened this week. Just happened a few hours ago. Manchester United at Old Trafford, losing not by 1, not by 2, not by 3, but by 5 to their arch rivals Liverpool. At home, get that right. 5-0 loss to Liverpool, and it could have been more. Paul Pogba did get sent off, I think, in the 60th minute. But Jack, what happened? Like, what?
The first thing I want to get to, because I think this is kind of got away with murder a little bit here. Cristiano Ronaldo should have been sent off.
Oh yes,
Cristiano Ronaldo should have been sent off.
That should have been. Yes.
He didn't get sent off. He didn't get sent off because he's Cristiano Ronaldo, and that's fine. That's okay. Whatever. You get some skin in the game, and then you get a few perks. Fair enough. That happens all the time across all sports. We see many examples of it happen. But I'm telling you that especially if Curtis Jones, who I think it was on, reacts a little differently, maybe makes a much bigger deal of it than he did, then Ronaldo's getting sent off. So they even got lucky on that one. My biggest thing, James, Liverpool didn't even play that well. Is that Liverpool's best performance of the season? I don't think so. I think it's a good performance. You beat Man United 5-0 Old Trafford, like, credit where credit's due. But I think it just shows you the complete failure for Manchester United defensively. Every single time they got a half opportunity, it looked like they were going to score. It was absolutely incredible. And that's, I think, the most terrifying thing. This was not Liverpool at their strongest. They didn't have their strongest team out there. They had a couple injuries during the course of the game as well. Again, Manchester United had some chances which they didn't put away. But I mean, questions have to be asked. I've hit a point, I think, after today. If I'm casting my opinion out there for Ollie in or Ollie out, it's Ollie out. I don't know what else you see tactically and from a footballing point of view at a football club that you're getting excited about here. I really don't. I get this, and I'm going to repeat myself again. Nice man, brought the culture back. Everybody's happy to be there, and the training is fun. It doesn't matter. The moment you step over the white line, you have to win. And if you can't do that, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You can be the nicest guy ever, but if you don't get the results, you deserve to go.
I think Enders just said it there. It could have been 7 or 8.
Easily.
If I was Liverpool fans, yes, we won, but I'd also be a little bit disappointed in the fact that we didn't really stick it to them, because they were 5-0 up with like 40 minutes left, and also playing with 30 minutes with 10 men at Old Trafford, and they should have taken advantage of that and really hurt Man United, but damage was already done before. Jack, the worrying thing about this whole thing is that we look at it and we ask, what is the problem? Is it the players? Yeah, the players are a problem. Yeah, the players need to do more. But also, you look at the setup of it. The setup is the biggest problem. And where does the setup come from? The manager. Right. Now, it was already shown how, Man United would press with 4 straight players.
Yep.
What's called again? When they didn't have the ball. And then they would leave the 2, McTominay, Fred, or Pogba, Weber.
Which are the 2 weakest, maybe Lindelof, but which are the 2 weakest players on the pitch? And I like Scott McTominay. I like Scott McTominay. But when you're talking about those 2 guys, comparing it to the rest of the team, 2 weakest players, probably.
But Jack, I don't care who you are. If you're a midfielder and there's acres of space around you and there's no one around your team to help you cover, it's hard to play. Even if you're Xavi, Iniesta, Sergio Busquets, whoever you want, it's hard to cover. And overall, Man United made it hard for themselves. The first goal, the fact that I think it was Greenwood goes to press. He doesn't he doesn't cut off the line, allows him to play in there. Then out of nowhere,
Wan-Bissaka, yeah,
and then,
right.
And then it goes 1, 2, 3. Lindelof is out of position. Then Harry Maguire is out of position. And then Luke Shaw wasn't sure to go or to stay. He gets dragged out. 1 goal. The second one is again another pressing issue, but also the centre backs, they need to do better.
No. But I thought wasn't that the one where Maguire went into the back of Shaw? Wasn't that the second one, or was that the third one?
Wait. Repeat that again.
So, wasn't there one where Maguire and Shaw, there was kind of a
Yes. That was the second one.
Right, but Yeah, again, like, we can all be sofa pundits, right? We can all have the correct opinion when we're sat at home and it doesn't actually affect us, but again, you've got to look at different ways of doing it. I mean, the statistics on it are damning, and yeah, I'm not necessarily all for statistics, but I think sometimes they tell a massive story. United I think are last in clean sheets, aren't they, or like
Yeah,
19th, or
last
they've only got
last in distance covered. Now, Jack, this whole thing about, I think Gary Neville keeps on saying, "Oh yeah, the players can't press, the players can't this, the players can't that." That's false.
yeah, no, I agree.
That is completely false, because Barcelona at their absolute best is Eto'o a big presser, is Henry a big presser, is Messi a big presser? No,
Right,
is
no,
you look at the man, like you look at the Man City team, is David Silva the biggest athlete in the world? Sergio Aguero, like
right,
none of these guys are like the best runners ever.
no.
But think about it, they're a team and they want to do it. And first of all, they get behind the manager and they believe in what the manager said. I felt it was damning last week against Leicester City after listening to Paul Pogba's comments. I think it felt like he was like, something needs to change.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to say what it meant to be, but we kind of know what.
Yeah, of course. But again, like, but James, I think the difficulty is it's the whole thing about, working smart, not working hard, right? Now, the best teams work smart and hard. I think this Man United team at the moment are just working hard. There's no direction or anything like that. Just quickly, because I want to just touch on it real quick with Sammy.
He is at the wheel.
Just quickly on Sammy's one. Yeah, Sammy, hey, look, I was thinking about this today. Was I going to bet against Cristiano Ronaldo and Jadon Sancho and Rafael Varane and Manchester United having the best away record in the league last season, and also having fans back at Old Trafford to improve everything, addressing 3 key areas of need, and then also potentially Solskjær developing as well and the team getting even better? Yeah, I wasn't going to bet against that. And yeah, you had him second, right? Yeah, I had him first, and I've got to tell you, I know, James, we're gonna talk about this very briefly here. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna win the league anymore. I mean, we're gonna have to see something drastic change to give me any sort of optimism for that prediction to come through. Now, the other 3 teams are an echelon above, a tier above right now.
Luca, how long do I think Ollie has? I feel like we need to be truthfully honest here. We need to be genuinely truthfully honest here. In our heart of hearts, we believe that he should be done already. I don't like saying managers should be sacked, because again, I'm a football coach too. I probably want to be a manager one of these days, and I wouldn't want someone coming out and like saying that about me. But this is football right here. This is a results based business. If this was any other manager, he would have been gone a long time ago.
Imagine if this was Chelsea.
Oh, if this was Jack, he doesn't even make the start of the season.
He'd be gone. Yeah.
But it's unfortunate for Ollie, because he has done a great job. He's done a great job since he's come in, especially bringing like the whole harmony back with Manchester United. But you just have to be honest right now. Man United have been in like this limbo for 3 years, and I remember I made this comment to Jack. I told Jack that this Man United team have no credibility, and I will stand by that, because the fact that this team has not won. Yes, you bring in players who have been successful before in other teams, but they're in Manchester United now. What I've done back then doesn't equate to what I'm going to do right now. I've totally lost my train of thought. Where the hell was I?
You're talking about obviously the players don't have credibility because of the past. It's the new team. The new team has to have their own credibility. That's what it has to be built from.
So Man United have been building for these last 3 years, and it's been failure after failure after failure. They're in the midst right now where we're seeing 3 teams who are so high and like have so much quality. They need to match them. Do I believe that they have the players on the pitch to match Man United? I mean, do I believe that they have players on the pitch to match Chelsea, to match Man City, to match Liverpool? Yes. The only problem is
all you have to do is look at the bench.
It's true, but you look at them other 3 teams, and what's the difference? Guardiola, Tuchel, Klopp, all world-class top managers, top 10 managers in the world. In Manchester United have Ole Gunnar Solskjær, who does not hold a candle to what
No.
these guys have done.
No.
That's a difference at this moment of time. It's not the players.
But James, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I think that you have to consider him coming in, even if he gets fired now. I think you have to consider what he's done to be a success, because I think, you know, that people have very, very short-term memories, right? People only remember what's happened over the last weekend, okay? And I think everybody needs to remember where this Manchester United team were before Ole Gunnar Solskjær. It was pretty dire. I think, you know, people were having conversations about like what happened with Liverpool, where they were finishing in the, you know, 6th and 7th and a while before Klopp came in. Solskjær came in. Yeah, okay, there's not been silverware and there's not been this and there's not been that, and it's not necessarily been flashy. There's been a few key moments that have really, really stood out. But what has happened is the spirit and the culture is back at the club. There's been a squad turnover that's gotten out some dead wood or some old players who maybe weren't kind of fully into it. But again, James, are you looking for a football manager or are you looking for a fun uncle to make everybody smile? Like, you get paid to win football games. It's a totally different thing. If Ole Gunnar Solskjær wanted to be a club ambassador or I don't know, something like that, I'd go, great, yeah, cool. He's such a nice guy. He'd be a great guy to have around the place. But I don't know what you look at in his managerial resume, whether it's at Manchester United, at his previous jobs at Molde and Cardiff City and all this kind of stuff, that makes you go, that's a guy who really knows what he's doing. And if you're harking back to, oh, well, we were 2-0 down at half-time and then scored 3 goals and we beat Atalanta, that's not what you want. You're Manchester United. You should be and I like Atalanta, but you should be beating these teams.
And Pat, like, raises it here and talked about Chelsea. Jack,
yeah.
You know what Manchester United reminds me of? Like, Jenny, do you know what Man United remind me of?
Go ahead.
Chelsea of last season. Think about it, right?
Yeah.
Big, like, a lot of big recruits, in the transfer window, everyone believing, okay, they're going to challenge, no real excuses now. Frank Lampard had like leeway because of the transfer ban, but now he had the money, he had the players, he had whatever. It's the exact same thing with this Manchester United team at this moment in time. And the difference, what happened with Chelsea was that they got rid of Frank, and look what happened to them. It might be a thing for this Manchester United team is that we get rid of Oli and then we bring in someone who's capable of coaching world-class players, because people, I feel like one thing, sorry, people just look at this as be like, oh, they're very good players, they can just go out and win. It's not that straightforward. If you
not in the Premier League,
not in football in general. If you honestly believe that, oh, just put a bunch of world-class players on the pitch and then they're going to go on and be successful, you don't know the game. There was a lot more to that. There was a lot more to that.
You're absolutely right.
Than just that. And for you to put an average manager in front of world-class players, they're going to look at you and be like, who are you?
They're going to laugh.
Why should I respect you? Why should I believe that you're going to take me to winning titles? And like, you might think I'm crazy, but that's the way football is.
Especially at the top level. I mean, again, it's all relative. But if you're, you know, and I've mentioned this in the past, if you're Cristiano Ronaldo and your manager is Andrea Pirlo, you don't respect him as a manager. Now, you guys might be thinking, it's Andrea Pirlo. I can't believe it. Like, surely you've got to be impressed by having Andrea Pirlo there. Yeah, not as a manager though.
Yes.
But very quickly with Sammy's point, yeah, no, absolutely spot on. Yeah, like it's a team of individuals who it's like, oh, hey, we're having a kick about the park. We've got like at least 3-4 of the best 10 players in the world. I wonder which one of them is going to do one individually brilliant thing that's going to get us the lead here. You know, seriously. Just quickly with a couple of these, Patrick, look, Zidane is capable of fixing United, especially with the players they've had. I don't know the source of this information, and I'm not going to Google it and find it out. But if anybody watching, please feel free to do this. Some people close to Zidane have said recently, and it happened over the last week, that he has no interest in managing in the Premier League. None. Now, maybe that's him posturing, maybe that's him kind of, you know, trying to maybe get some more money if the offer does come through, because, you know, he needs to be persuaded to join. But I would say to you, the fact that the man never played at any stage of his career in England at all, and also the fact that the man hasn't managed in England at all yet. I don't know. I tend to agree with that. And then, James, going on to the other point, what do we always say? Who's coming in? Who's coming in? Now, if we say that Zidane's not going to be interested and not have the interest in the job, yeah, okay, Antonio Conte sticks out like a sore thumb. But is Antonio Conte the type of guy you want to bring into this culture and these kinds of players that are at Manchester United right now? I don't know. I don't know that. I really don't.
I feel like we need to get away from this language barrier, because it can be an issue, but we've seen managers go on and be successful even with a language barrier. But I just look at this Man United team and I just think that what's going on? Why? There's so many questions. Like, for instance, someone like Donny van de Beek, Man United, they don't buy him for, let's say, 30 million or like 20 million. They bought this guy for 40 million. This guy wasn't like an average football player. This guy was top 20 in the Ballon d'Or voting in 2019, literally. And now he can't get a game for Manchester United at all over a Fred, over a McTominay. And you're asking yourself, why? Are you telling me he doesn't have the ability that he isn't capable of? Where, like, we've seen this guy play in Champions League semi-finals, go to the Bernabeu, go over to Juventus and dominate
and look the part. 100%. And James, at this point, it's becoming a bit of a joke in comparison, especially with the Fred conversation. Like, the fact that this guy's still getting minutes while some of these other guys sit on the bench is absolutely wild.
Patrick, that is a big thing for a team who's meant to be title challengers. For you to be looking right next to Arsenal, and I'm an Arsenal fan right now, and I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to come here and tell you that we're this great old side. No, we're not. Man United, with all that money that they spent, they expected to be challenging for the league, for the Champions League, and for them to be looking straight next to Arsenal.
Also, the rebuild thing. Don't want to hear it. You signed a 36-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo. One of his other strikers that you've got in there is Edinson Cavani, right? These are guys who are ready now. You've got Paul Pogba for another 9 months of his contract that's kind of remaining. So, like, don't try and tell me that this is we've got a few young kids and we're still rebuilding, blah blah. You signed Varane in the summer. Jadon Sancho is coming off double-digit goal and assist seasons, multiple times. He didn't touch the field today because you have to play Ronaldo, who you were forced into getting it. Look, I am never gonna fall victim to doubting this Manchester United team or Cristiano Ronaldo. But right now, the results and the play style, it speaks for themselves.
Do you know what? I think the awkward thing, Jack mentioned Ronaldo there. Do I think Ronaldo is bad for Manchester United? No. I believe ultimately, like, he helps this team. But I feel like the negative connotation for Cristiano is that as soon as something goes wrong, they point the finger, he's 30-something years of age. Oh, you want to go?
No. I was just like not making my nod to Sammy. I'll tell you guys about Roma Napoli in a minute.
Don't worry, guys. We're gonna have like just quick fire where like you guys can just shoot off and just ask us questions. But the bad connotation of Ronaldo, as soon as Man United go bad, they blame the fact that he doesn't press, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that, and I'm like, that's completely false, because a week ago this guy just won you a game and he was Vivo Ronaldo. You can't constantly do that. You have to be in line and accept what you want. They accept that Ronaldo isn't the old Ronaldo of like 4 or 5 years ago where he destroying oppositions, but he is who he is. And I would love to have a Cristiano Ronaldo in my team. Why? Because you need match winners.
Right.
So Ronaldo is not the problem here, and he won't be the problem. It's everything around that. For me, it's finding the confidence to get Jadon Sancho playing back to his best, which we haven't seen for nearly 6 months now. It's finding the right blend to get Donny van de Beek back into the team. Can we get Rashford fit and firing? Bruno, since the start of the season, he hasn't quite hit the form.
No, he hasn't. Yep. James, Rashford, just to touch on Rashford quickly. So obviously Rashford has been out for a little while. He looked bright today. He did. A couple of the times that he was able to beat his man and get into a goal scoring opportunity. I'm not personally going to rule out Rashford being able to score one of those and then, you know, everything changing. So that was somewhat of a bright spark today. But apart from that, I was texting my friends about this, mate. De Gea's the best player on the pitch and he conceded 5 goals. That's a problem. That's a problem.
He made off for Trent Alexander-Arnold, where he was arrowing into the top corner. But Jack, do you know one thing is the maddest thing is that we've been talking about this game for about like 15 minutes right now, but we haven't mentioned the team who scored 5 goals and were absolutely, you know, sensational in Liverpool, and like Jack's buddy Mo Salah doing what he does again, getting a hat-trick at Old Trafford, being the first player to do that since Brazilian Ronaldo in 2003.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like this Liverpool team, like you must understand, like they're unbeaten so far this season. And it's weird that they're not top of the league. They're a point off Chelsea. How are you feeling about this team, and are they looking like another title-winning team again?
Yeah, I think they are. I think again, it's the problem with this Liverpool team is it's the same formula. And the problem with it being the same formula is that on any given day, if a team figures you out or makes a slight tactical change that can kind of catch you out, then you're in trouble. But again, the formula works pretty well. We've seen that. That's happened quite a few times, actually. Sorry, I'm just sorting out my light here. We've seen it a couple of times. The formula works quite well. We saw, like even today, a great example of today of the ability of somebody like Trent Alexander-Arnold to just put a ball on the play. Like Diogo Jota, that was such a nice little ball into Diogo Jota. It's kind of an underrated thing. With Salah, the way he's playing, Roberto Firmino put in a really, really, really strong shift today that will go underrated because, you know, he wasn't necessarily that good in terms of his goal output or his assists or whatever. The midfield, again, it's hard working. But the other thing, James, and this is where I always want to give the credit, this is all Jurgen Klopp's doing. The main difference between these two teams that we saw play today, and one won 5-0 and one lost 5-0, is because of the manager. The manager is the biggest change in that, in my personal view. I think this Liverpool team without Jurgen Klopp are a totally different animal, and Klopp deserves so much credit.
But Klopp deserves credit, but also the players are the ones who make it happen on the football pitch. And as you see last year, when one of his most important players were down, like a Virgil van Dijk, you've seen what happened to this Liverpool team. So as good as Klopp is, he needs his boys to perform. Now, Pat, if you haven't already seen, we already did a video. I think it's already like 2-3 weeks ago.
Saying
check it out there.
Saying that though, James, Salah is like, since that video, Salah's gone kind of up, don't you think?
Jack, have you changed your opinion on Salah, or is he still what you believe he is?
No, I mean, the things in the first video, which was, you know, why Mo Salah doesn't get talked about, why he doesn't earn the money like the other big stars do, why he doesn't have the transfer interest and all this kind of stuff. That kind of stuff, I kind of had a feeling behind, and a lot of my opinions were like, well, he doesn't do the kind of outstanding stuff that nobody else in the world can do. He's not got that Hazard ability or that Bale ability or that Suarez ability to go, wow, nobody else can do that kind of thing. We've seen over the past, like, however many weeks, Salah is doing stuff where you go, people can't do that. Only he can do that at this point. And that's the thing, like, once that goes, James, and he's not just benefiting from the system he's playing in, how many of the goals that we've seen lately that aren't because of Klopp and the way that he's playing, it's because Salah has beaten 3 or 4 people and put the ball in the top corner.
Sorry, 1 second, Luca. We already spoke about that. It depends, because we believe that he should be done now, but Man United hold this weird thing where they want to keep their man. They don't want to let go, but it's something that this breakup might need to happen sooner than later, you know, in that situation. But just going back to Liverpool at this moment in time, and Jack mentioned how, it was like, it's like the same players. But the one thing I seen from Jurgen Klopp today was also his ability to be a bit versatile and change it. Jack, the fact that he's been playing with Jota as a striker for the majority of the season, and Sadio Mane going out wide. Today he said, "Cool, I'm going to change it up a bit," and he left Sadio Mane out in this big of a game, and like the type of form Sadio Mane has been in, especially in the big games. This season, like scoring against Man City, and for him to leave him out, bringing Jota, who's hasn't really found his form in the past few weeks, and yes, Firmino did score a hat-trick, but he hasn't been in favour this season. For him to change it up and make it look a little bit different, that to me bodes well for Liverpool, because now it shows that Jurgen Klopp is willing to be a bit different and go for a different approach in different games, and that to me will freshen it up as as the season goes. Yes, they have Mo Salah, who is undroppable at this moment of time, but the rest of them, he could chop and change and make different decisions around it. But it just bodes well for Liverpool right now, because Jack, I mentioned how West Ham were irresistible, but Jack, if you look at this Liverpool team, where are the weaknesses at this moment of time? Defensively, I believe that they can be got, but they're not, because you look at what they have going up front right now. Jack, if they concede 3, they're going to score 4.
They'll score 4. Right, exactly. No, and you're absolutely right. And this is the reason why I think I like Klopp and this Liverpool team so much, is if you want to play a certain way against them, they can now attack you and break you down and do it. They can play any style that they want to play. And that I just think is an unbelievably impressive thing. And it's because of the versatility of the squad. Now, Minamino hasn't lived up to the expectation, right? There have been a couple of signings which you've gone, oh, who's that? And they've kind of tried to bring in and maybe try and bring in as developmental players. And I think the drop-off is too much for these kinds of players. But realistically, if you want to try and know that you're going to dominate the ball and there's a team who's going to play a low block and they're going to sit really deep, just throw Thiago in there, get Thiago playing, right? There's other players that you can put in and just switch up a little bit to bring in and do it well. And also, James, another thing that I think went really underrated today, Ibrahima Konate started his second Premier League game today against Old Trafford against Manchester United. Now, he was brought in for a lot of money, a lot of hype. Him and Upamecano for Leipzig last year were obviously very, very strong. Now they've both gone. Huge for him to get a clean sheet, playing next to Van Dijk, obviously playing with Alisson, playing with Robertson, being able to link up with Henderson in midfield as well when he's wanting to play out, and being able to handle going up against a Cristiano Ronaldo, a Cavani, a Rashford, a Greenwood, a Bruno Fernandes. Big game for him too.
Yes. Konate, I'm glad you mentioned that. I was going to tweet it out listen, people need to big him up because he had a very, very good game. But also with this Liverpool team, Jack, I mentioned the front 3, but also the middle 3 today, because yes, Henderson is obviously the shoe in there, but they had Naby Keita and James Milner in there, 2 players who you don't see them playing in that position week in and week out. Fabinho was out today. Thiago Alcantara was out. The fact that Liverpool can, we're going to pop these guys in. It's such a big game at Old Trafford, and then they can change it up the week after. I think it really, really bodes well for this Liverpool.
But again, if you had to pick an area of the pitch where you could downgrade and probably still beat Manchester United, you'd say it's probably that kind of double pivot in midfield. It's that Fred and McTominay thing. And look, I like McTominay. I like Scott McTominay. I like what he can give and what he can offer. But again, is he a good enough player for Manchester United? Again, questions. I think we all know that Fred isn't, but Scott McTominay, we're not so sure.
Now, guys, for the last few minutes, we're just going to be answering questions. So if you have questions that you want us to answer, we're going to answer as many as we possibly can. Just comment down below and let us know. Also, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Now, do I believe Barcelona can get into the top 3? Now, I'm watching the Marseille PSG game. PSG a goal down, so I have that behind me. But Barcelona to be a weird one, because they have quality, they have ability in players like Memphis Depay, who I think has been a fantastic buy for them on the free. Ansu Fati, Gavi, Pedri, Frankie de Jong. The problem with Barcelona, and I think what's going to affect them long term, and what we've seen affect them in today's game, is the fact that the quality in the final third isn't there. They don't have Messi to bail them out when they're searching for answers. And
or Suarez or Neymar.
Suarez, Neymar. And that's what to me is going to let them down. Now, in the future, I do believe this Barcelona team is going to be a problem for anyone, because Gavi, Fati, Pedri, all these top players. Right now, I think top 4, maybe 4th place is what they will be aiming for. But at this moment in time, competing with the rest of like Real Madrid, like Atletico, it's going to be tough for this team. But Jack, what do you think?
Guys, we have to understand. This has been probably the worst off-season we have seen for any front office in the history of football. Now, you might think, wow, that's a bit of a strong, sweeping statement. But I mean that. You've lost Lionel Messi on a free transfer to a kind of an arch rival, really. A team that are coming from money, who are just trying to basically... You, Real Madrid, your biggest nemesis, and Manchester United are the 3 kind of old-school big teams. What's happening? We're seeing it now. There's a new generation of big teams that are coming in. And when I say big teams, I mean super teams. That's PSG, that's Man City. And yeah, we'll see what happens with Newcastle United. Seriously, maybe it'll be those 3 teams that are the next Manchester United, Real Madrid and Barcelona. They're recovering from the worst off-season they've ever had, financially, in terms of public relations, all that kind of stuff. And it's going to take a long time. I agree with James. There's young talent there, and there's stuff that you can build with Pedri, Ansu Fati, Gavi. I think James already mentioned a couple of defenders in there too, with some talent. Seriously, with some notable talent. I remember doing a transfer window video with Timmy, and I was like, "Hey man, it's actually not looking too bad for you guys." But again, it's going to take a while. This is, the wounds are going to heal, but the scars will still be there. And Barcelona are going to have to go through a real sea change. Ronald Koeman is not winning La Liga, and Ronald Koeman is not winning the Champions League with this Barcelona team. And whoever the next boss is, if it's Xavi, I know that there's hope for that, but he needs to make sure he comes in at the right time.
Sammy, did you really just say that?
Sammy, that's your what's that called where you double? So if it happens, he's right, but then if it doesn't happen, Real Madrid will probably win, so he's happy. He's covering both ends.
I feel like even the most optimistic Barcelona fan wouldn't have thought about winning the league.
No,
this year, they're far better teams than Barcelona at this moment in time. The talent is there, and I think in the future you're looking at a problem, because I've already mentioned the names, but the lack of cutting edge in the final third is just they're at this moment in time they're just miles off. We got a few comments that we have to.
Luco, Man U need a manager like Klopp, Pep, and Tuchel. Tuchel turned us into a great team, got a great system with a short period of time. We're going to be dangerous, but Tuchel, Pep, Klopp brings wins. Look, I appreciate your comment, Luco, but those are 3 very different managers in terms of style, in terms of approach, and in terms of personality as well. So whilst I agree with you that they need a manager of that caliber, I think Manchester United are always going to be looking at the top tier of managers. Very rarely are you going to turn down the Manchester United job if you're a free manager. I think the fascinating thing for me is Antonio Conte football and Manchester United, to me, just doesn't sit right. I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't quite sit right. So that's what I would say. If Zidane can be interested, maybe that's the next best bet.
I think with this Manchester United team, you said it there. I don't think we're mainly talking about the styles of coach, because they're all completely three different styles of coaches. But the common denominator between each coach is that they're all top level coaches.
Right, right.
Thomas Tuchel, yes, before Chelsea, he wasn't amazing, but he was involved in the Champions League final the year before that, won Ligue 1 titles with PSG, and also done really well at Dortmund. So he's had the experience and
managed top players.
Managed top players. But and we all know what Klopp and Pep has done. Man United, Solskjær is cool, but I look at him from the point of view of just being a coach and a manager. Yes, he manages the dressing room well, and he's a player that if you're a friend, you love to have him there, because he is the type of friend that would be like to you. You never do anything wrong and will never call you out for it. You do something wrong, oh, listen, don't worry, you'll do it better next time, and never tell you what's wrong. Right. And people like that. Maybe you do not a dressing room like that, but in terms of being a coach and setting the team up in the right way to win, it's just not possible for him at this moment of time. Gary Neville talking about. Go on, Jack. Just go
No.
on. Just answer.
Yeah,
that
no,
one.
I just wanted to say this one. Didn't Xavi say he wanted to coach Barcelona, but now wasn't the right time? Yes, he did say that in a recent interview, and I think it's the smartest thing he could do. I think Xavi is a smart guy anyway, and he does not need to be told that now is an absolute bleep show for him to be going into that Barcelona job. I think he needs to wait for a little bit more of a foundation to be able to go forward, and because you don't want to spoil that. Xavi is the Barca coach. That's something you want to save for the perfect time.
Go on, Jack.
Alex Grego, first of all, welcome. As a Liverpool fan, it's funny seeing Man U fans fume. They look like they're feeling how we felt during the late 90s and 2000s. Yeah, I mean, look, I think that is true. But again, I think I'll go back to the well on my previous comment. As much as I saw nothing today that would give me any optimism that this Manchester United team will win the league this year, I am not going to be in the business of doubting this Manchester United team with Cristiano Ronaldo in it. I'm just putting that out there.
Yes, Cristiano Ronaldo makes such a difference. But Alex, you being a Liverpool fan, do you not feel that Manchester United are almost like Liverpool in the 2000s? Like from the point of view, they're trying to bring it back the glory days, and technically they're far from them glory days at this moment of time. Because Liverpool, how many years during the 2000s and like the 90s they say, oh, we're one player, we're two players away, we're this and that away, and they were trying to get it. This Man United team, they just came off the greatest decade of the football club's history, and now they want to bring it back. But it just feels like, is it really ever going to return back to what it used to be, Jack? Like what do you think about that, Jack?
I think that while we can kind of talk about it, and that it's something to be pondered, I think unfortunately, and you're probably not going to like this, James, but while the revenue is there, the success will be there eventually. Seriously, in the same way that Newcastle United in the next 20-25 years will probably win a Premier League title or two. I don't love saying that out loud, but unfortunately, again, going back to the well with one of my old comments, the relationship between money and football is so blatant, it's not even true. So trust me, Manchester United can make mistake after mistake after mistake. As long as the money keeps coming in, eventually, somewhere down the line, they will get it right. And as we're seeing with Barcelona, if the financial situation does not improve, expect the club to, slowly go down and slowly fail. There's a reason why a lot of these clubs who are worried about the future are pushing for the European Super League, because they know it will keep their revenues up.
Also, guys, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Please also hit that like button for the video. We're going to call it quits right now, guys. Thank you to everyone who's commented, who's watched, who's subscribed, who's just been here throughout this whole life. We appreciate you. We're going to try to come live. We're going to try and give you more content, more videos coming soon. But guys, we appreciate all of you already. If you haven't already, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Appreciate the comments. Thank you all, guys. What do we have right now? So listen, the glory days for Arsenal has been the glory. I wasn't even a part of the glory days, and I think the difference with you is that you probably seen the glory, the Ferguson times, because I grew up in Man United, killing it. The back-to-back Premier League titles. I mean, the 3 in a row, the back-to-back Champions League finals, winning one of them, and just being so great and all that sort of stuff. I really had that. So the glory days for me is like far, far behind. At least your memories that you just
it's recent.
And it's like, okay, it's not too bad. Oh, we had Robin van Persie, we had Ferguson.
Right.
My one, Thierry Henry's like nearly 50 now. Come on. So
seeing him on Renault ads.
Definitely. But guys, thank you all, guys. Jack has to go, and I'm gonna go too. Appreciate everyone. We're definitely gonna be coming with more videos. But this is Box to Box Football, guys, and we will see